Hello and welcome to Talkin Jake, myself, BBD, and in studio, it's Bailey Freeman, a.k.a. Foolish Bailey. How are you?
I'm very happy to be here. I don't want to confuse the audience because if you've watched us on YouTube before on the Talkin Jake channel, we have used advanced Hollywood special effects to give the appearance that I am in studio at times. Yes, but in fact, I was a floating head. So now I am here physically in New York City.
We're excited to have you here. We were laughing. We had like a big company meeting today, which we do, I guess we do twice a quarter. And I don't, like, all of our information was kind of out there, but we kind of don't care because information is out there. But yeah, in like the middle of the office, there's Bailey. It's like
better view than I had.
Okay. Oh, so we're 70% of our sales goal this year.
I'm happy for you guys.
Thank
if
you.
You're there, yeah.
Thank you. There's a lot of good stuff in the pipeline. We're not talking about that right now. Although I think that people would love to get a little of your behind the scenes at John Boy Media for a day. We have a fun one today, and the YouTube algorithm likes when you get into stuff. So I think we get into it because it's a fun one. Bailey, and this was your idea.
Yes.
1 year wonders.
1 year wonders. And, you know, there's a lot of ways you can interpret that. Some players have career years, and sometimes a player has a career year, and they still have a really nice, like Mookie Betts in 2018, that was the best year of his career, and he's had many wonderful years, and yet that one stands out as the best. I don't think I would call that a one-hit wonder. But yeah, there have been so many guys who have come and gone and maybe had one or two, especially good or especially memorable seasons, and now this is our time to celebrate them.
Yeah, I'm interested to see when this draft gets a little late, because I think if you're a baseball fan, you probably have some names that are spinning around your head already. But yeah, I think by the end we might have to make a couple twists and tweaks here and there. I'm excited to see where it goes. And you know who I thought was going to be someone on this list who's an incredible baseball player currently? I thought Simeon was going to be a 1 year wonder.
Yeah.
And he's just awesome.
He is closer to Hall of Famer than 1 year wonder at this point.
But it always blows my mind. I remember when I looked at his page and you saw 2019, clear standout, 2020, and I was like, there's no way, right? And Marcus Simeon, for the past 4 years, has been one of the better players in baseball.
He may be on the Beltray arc, just like inconsistent 20s and then just locking it down in his 30s, Like, I don't know, but I'm happy for him.
And you know who I don't think qualifies for this, that I hope ends up on a Simeon arc, is Matt Chapman.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he finds the right hitting coach.
I know.
That gets a little more loft on the ball or something. Because everything else is there. He's my favorite
hypothetical hitter in the game right now. Like, in hypothetical situations, I think he's great.
And that's, the other Simeon, they're both like crazy work ethic guys. They're both well liked. Trevor was teammates with both of them. Or did Matt Chapman just straight up replace him? I think
Trevor was DFA'd for the Matt Chapman call-up.
That's pretty cool.
On Trevor's birthday.
That's kind of cool. On Trevor's birthday. Not as cool. He's doing okay, and he's my first pick in the 1 year. No, although I'm gonna have to look at those stats. Bailey, why don't you get us started? I'm assuming normal lineup.
Normal lineup, and we could. Do you guys have pitchers on your board, or
we can find?
I haven't
one.
yanked any pitchers aside, but we could find.
We could find one.
The one thing is relievers are kind of. That is the position that is the most one year wonder.
That position is one hit wonder.
Yeah. So if we want to discuss that later, we can.
I am on Jonathan Holder's page again.
Yeah.
Why don't you get us started, Bailey?
My
your number 1 year wonder.
What's great is this wasn't even a question for me. I just knew who I wanted it to be. And look, this is a guy who had a great career. But Darren Erstad in 2000,
interesting.
I think about Darren Erstad in 2000 constantly. I think about it probably at least once a week. I'm like, what was he doing there in 2000? Darren Erstad's numbers in 2000. The highlight for me is the 355 average, 240 hits. 240. His next best career high in a season is 2002 when they won the World Series. 177. 240 is the tied for the 13th most hits that anyone has ever had in a major league regular season. That is, to quote the Beastie Boys, more hits than Rod Carew. And great defender, and I'm drafting him as mine. Left fielder, also stole 28 bases, 137 OPS plus. I mean, he had a really nice career overall. He was a very good player, won a World Series. But that year he had 8.4 Baseball Reference WAR. In 2002, he did have 6.3, but that was mostly driven by just ridiculous defense. So I'm saying this is definitely a one-year wonder, and this is my favorite one-year wonder. 240 hits.
What's it going to look like, the side-by-side? It's a great pick, by the way. In my head, Darren Erstad had a little bit of a better career. No shots fired at Darren Erstad. But the problem is I get those old Angels teams, which were a problem.
They're great.
Him, Salmon, Edmonds was over there, and it
Spezio.
just felt Spezio. And they were kind of all in a blender.
Yeah.
Like I know them, but at the same time, like where their year-end stats landed, like Edmonds has some massive years. Reality star Jim Edmonds now. I don't know if you keep up with
Survivor?
that. I think he's on one of the housewife shows, and he's
shows that I
like
know.
he's like a player.
Oh, okay.
Like I think he like causes shit.
Oh.
If that's wrong,
Whoa.
someone let me know if I'm spreading Jim
but
Edmonds
he's
rumors.
still Cardinals broadcasting. Yes? No? Maybe?
Sound off.
Yeah.
That season is a massive season. It's a clear outlier. 8th in MVP. 355.
355.
Batting average freaking stinks by Jolly Olive.
Jolly Olive. Oh, he's flicking you off? Oh, an audio jack.
The 99, 2000, 2001 batting average is 253, 355, 258.
Yeah.
That's a crazy sandwich.
It's a good pick.
Thank you.
I had him as more consistent, and he was, him
Thought
and,
he had years.
him and Cody Bellinger, the outfield first baseman. You kind of don't see.
Yeah.
You don't see a ton of that. Good for them. Center field and first base. All right. Beebs, we, and when I say we, I mean mostly you, have assembled a list. I see one of the more famous one-year wonders of sorts, that if Erstad is eligible, I mean, it might be, did you see what I highlighted in the sheet? Are we not sheet buddies?
Where I'm on the sheet, I see where your cursor is. Oh, I see what you added to the sheet.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Do we don't have a time?
I mean, let's do this.
Range
Yes.
rule.
Let's do this. Because it's.
I think it's the right answer.
We'll
so
take
we're gonna have
Brady
to-
Anderson.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's Brady Anderson, a really good career, almost similar to Erstad. He has another season where it was nice. His 1992 season is solid, got some bottom of the ballot MVP votes, but I mean, the most famous 50 homer ridiculous season in MLB history. There's some different stuff going around baseball back then.
Really?
Bud Selig ignored
They
it.
were like some advanced scouting,
Yes,
Okay.
that was the first year the Orioles were really ahead of the game. 50 home runs, a 1.034 OPS.
Getting on his case for 1 year of eating a balanced breakfast.
A career 787 OPS guy. A long year, 15 years of Major League Baseball, but that season is notorious.
50 home runs, and then the next best in the season, 24. Wonderful. It's a wonderful one-year wonder.
I'm not the biggest math guy, but that's almost more than double.
That's almost more than double.
So yeah, and Brady played center that year.
Yeah.
I mean, outfield we get flexible, but for a center fielder, that's so stupid.
A center
Especially
fielder hitting 50
then.
bombs.
That is so stupid.
There's probably a stat head out there where it's just like him, Mantle, Andrew Jones.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
if you butter knife the 50
Yeah.
homer center fielders.
Did Judge
Griffey?
play enough
Griffey,
that
yeah.
year?
Judge in his year was technically.
I think
Judge
technically more center
Judge
than
played
right.
more center than right in 22.
Okay. Sound
So
off
maybe
on
it's
any
just
more of
super
those.
common.
I think we got most of it. All right, Bailey. Now, two I don't want to say two of the more famous ones. Brady, famous for some wrong reasons, I feel like. Erstad, a great snag. Who's next?
Okay, BBD, you two are in tandem. I see.
We are
Yes.
team.
Okay.
We're a unit.
We're linking up.
We're under the sheets together.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, I like this guy. This guy's fun. I've picked my left fielder. I'm now going to pick my center fielder. Another guy I think about quite a bit. Andres Torres.
Okay.
Of 2010 San Francisco Giants fame. I like it when they can cap off your one-year wonder with a ring.
Yeah.
You win a ring. At the end of all that, you win a ring. In 2009, he had a great half season.
Yeah.
That was sort of the precursor to this great 2010 he had. But in 2010, playing center field, 16 homers, which that's no gimme in 2010 in San Francisco. That's like if you hit 30 now. 26 steals, 122 OPS, plus 5.3 Baseball Reference WAR. His next best, 1.8. And again, why not cap it off with a World Series win? And why not a World Series where you OPS nearly 1,000 and you homer?
Man.
Great year. What a wonderful year it would have been to be Andres Torres.
Andres Torres, like, not a lot of specific memories in my head. Like, I'm pretty good. We do ref guess. We do whatever game Jolly's making up, and I've got a lot in this cabeza that's normally kind of useless. Man, Andres Torres. That's a bit of a blind spot for me.
I feel better about it because I was about to say, like, I think I get him and Angel Pagan crossed up.
Yeah.
They were traded for each other,
Yeah.
so that does make me feel better about that cross up.
I literally looked up Angel Pagan because in my head, they're kind of
Yeah.
their family.
Right.
Our left fielder is going to be.
Yeah, is Pagan eligible? He's got a couple nice years. Good for you,
There's
Angel
sort of 2
Pagan.
years.
I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
I'm happy for you.
Maybe not the
Andres Torres.
chalkiest pick I could have made.
Yeah, it's. I mean, not as sexy as other things, but. Speaking of, I'm stumbling. My brain is like full spin mode right now that I'm looking up some things on the fly just in case we've got something. We've got a list in front of us that I will go off of for now. BBD, what about... Or no, excuse me. I did not mean to highlight that former legend. Former Yankee great.
I do like him. There's a lot of guys at that position, but he's the one I like the most at that position.
Bailey, you remember 2017.
I was around.
Those cheating.
Oh, I see where you're going.
The Yankees had a ball player
Oh, okay.
that was, that guy's on our board too.
You threw me off.
I did. The Yankees had an everyday guy that I think on the postseason got kicked out right at the end.
They had
right?
him and Ellsbury. They're figuring out which one of them were going to bat eighth and DH any given day
Love
because
Nathan
Hicks came
Jacoby.
on at the end of the year.
There is a clear outlier on a very solid baseball player's page. Chase Headley.
Yeah.
Chase Headley, this was during my some of my peak fantasy baseball days. And what Chase Headley did that year, 31 home runs, 115 RBI, his second, we did this with Brady Anderson, his second career high in home runs, second most homers hit in a season, 14.
14.
So, yeah, for a second I got nervous because he has a couple nice seasons.
He's a good player.
But that 31 home runs, I thought we were looking at the next great Padre,
Yeah.
and it went a little differently
It did.
for Chase Jordan Headley.
Chase Jordan Headley.
Chase Jordan Headley.
Great pick on my board.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I like our team. I think we're versatile. I think people get along.
Where do I want to go? Kicking around a couple positions here.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm just going to draft it for fun for me. What are my brain worms that I think about all the time?
Draft for you.
Yeah. I want 2010 Derek Barton. Just a classic Moneyball A's guy.
God.
a classic spelling of the name Derek for those of you typing it into your. It could also be interpreted as Derrick.
Derrick.
But 110 walks, led the American League, and not even with that much pop either. This is a 10-homer first baseman.
That's insane.
He was just vibing up there.
That's insane.
393 on base, 120 OPS plus. The only other season he qualified for the batting title, or let's say the only other season he had 300 plate appearances or more, he had an 85 OPS plus. This year he had a 120 OPS plus, and that thanks to some also kind defensive metrics for him at first base. Very kind, in fact. 5.5 baseball reference WAR on the 2010 A's. His next best 1.3. So I'm pulling out of the Bay Area. But yeah, Derek Barton for me, 2010 first base.
I look at a lot of baseball references. This is an odd one.
It's a weird one.
Do we have injury or anything, or did guys just start throwing them strikes?
It's probably guys started
played?
throwing him strikes,
I mean, to lead the league in walks is kind of like, that's upper echelon. Like, if you look at the year in, year out guys who lead the league in walks, like, it's Juan Soto.
Yeah. It's Juan Soto again. It's Juan Soto on a different team.
Then it's Juan Soto and the Yankees.
Yeah.
Derek Barton. Wow.
Barton.
That's foolish credit to you. That's
a one-year wonder.
That is disgusting. That's gross. That is a true one-year wonder. Wow. I kind of have him, but also, I mean, those Moneyball A's, a lot of their bodies blended together.
Absolutely.
I mean, my goodness.
I got a board full of A's.
If I click on that 2010 Oakland A's roster, Bob Guerin at manager. Yep.
Ooh.
81-81 record.
Sure.
Yep. Kurt Suzuki. God.
Look at their DH.
Jack Cust.
There's a guy.
I just went to go look to see if he might end up on this.
He did it
He's
a couple
2-year
times.
one.
Yeah.
Jack Cust. I mean, Derek Barton, Cliff Pennington, Kubanos, Gabe Gross.
Gabe Gross.
No. Just no.
You disagree.
Respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, baseball. I know it's a generic joke. I just found a guy who I'm not going to select, but I'll just say the name Jeremy Hermida.
Ooh, yeah.
He had one kind of outlier season, but I don't think it's sexy enough. So that's why I just blew up his spot. Good pick. Back to our board, BBD. BBD, who sticks out to you on our remaining characters?
Well,
I like all of them. Pick the rabbit out of the hat.
There's one guy. I'm gonna look at his baseball reference one more time.
Okay.
Because I think he does have one year that is just such an outlier. Gets MVP votes in multiple years. I think 2001 Brett Boone.
Okay.
I think that is enough. Substantially better than the 2003 other All-Star season he had. Tell me if he had another one too, but
yes,
that one the end year numbers aren't stand out at all.
That's tight, Beebs.
The batting average is so much higher.
I'm not going to be
others.
I'm not going to be like the one-year wonder cop. Like that's
challenge flag.
There are some other drafts where I would throw the challenge flag on this pick, but I'm fine with it. I will say 140 versus 153 OPS plus in the end,
Right.
But I have no problem letting you guys have that because there's what
led the league in RBIs.
is someone going to decide if we
close.
won at the end of this? This is just we're remembering.
People are
guys.
going to just comment.
Nobody.
We're remembering.
Nobody
we're
remembers the
remembering
winner.
Guys.
Everyone remembers Derek Barton.
They do.
So yeah, we'll throw
And
him.
I want to be able to tell.
Yeah, we'll
Boone
tell
in an email that I
Booney.
picked
Yeah.
it.
We interview Aaron Boone every week. I don't know if you've seen this.
You guys.
And he's actually Brett's brother.
But he's the manager of the Yankees. Why is he talking to you?
Why is he talking? These guys work in their basement. They're talking to Boone. Which
And yet another guy in this draft. Name spelled a little weird.
yeah.
That is true.
Ooh, that's gonna be
Between
some good
Derek,
analytics.
Darren,
at the end of
and
this.
Brett.
I like that. Foolish. I think we start picking up the pace of the picks a little bit
Yes.
as we round up our rosters.
problem.
I will say this. I'll slow it down again. The behind the scenes of John Boy Media. What's your scouting report? You know, there's some people that won't care about this. There's other people that'll live for it. What'd you see today?
The scouting report on John Boy Media, surprisingly functional.
Toxic masculinity.
Toxic. I did see a lot of broing around.
Yeah.
I saw
There was a chest bump.
I saw chest bumps. I have done more fist bumps today than I have in the previous month combined.
I didn't want you to see that.
There is a lot of fist bumps.
But yeah, I mean, you guys, because I came here 2 years ago when you had really just moved
Right.
in, and what I think you've learned in those 2 years is how to actually properly utilize the space. So that is my positive scouting report.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
that, Bailey. Okay, cool. What where are you going?
I'm going shortstop.
Okay. We have options at short.
Sick brag. I had two options at short, but one of them I'd actually drafted on a program with you.
Don't dunk on me.
Yeah.
Dunk on Jolly. That's why he's here.
So I wish I could pick the shortstop who I'd already picked it once on your program before, but I'm gonna have to go for a new name here, and one I think about also often this season. I think about 2009 Tampa Bay Rays, Jason Bartlett.
Okay.
Jason Bartlett, he in 2009. So this is a guy. We've talked about shortstops with a great glove, and you just hope they hit a little bit.
Right.
And that was Jason Bartlett for most of his career. And then in 2009, he decided, hold on a second. What if I was also an elite defensive shortstop who hits 320?
Yeah.
And has a 389 on base and hits a career high 14 home runs, and my next best is 5, and who steals a career high 30 bases and has a 132 OPS plus while being an elite defensive shortstop. What if I, Jason Bartlett, had a 6-WAR season? Jason Bartlett, my shortstop, 1-year wonder.
My shortstop, Jason Bartlett. Man, the Rays, I feel like in recent history, they have to have a lot of options.
Yes.
Like, they feel like the team that tapped into a guy for a moment and then they did not.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's trading them or whatever it is, that Jason Bartlett, wow. He
What
put
a
up that
year.
kind of season?
What a year.
Bartlett. Good for him. Better career than I remembered. 18 WAR?
18 WAR.
Picking it.
Jason Bartlett. Yeah, if you can play defense at shortstop,
You can rack it up.
you can rack 'em, Willie. Why don't we go eye for an eye? The whole world is blind. We've got one shortstop that's near and dear to our hearts. We've got one that has a prestigious award, and I think the baseball people will prefer. Let's go Angel Baroa.
Oh,
at
very
shortstop.
nice.
Yeah. Famously won the Rookie of the Year. And he won that over, isn't that part of the famous story?
Over Matsui, I think.
Right. That's why it's fresh in my mind. 163 games out of Hideki Matsui that season. People forget. But yeah, it's a 2.5 WAR season. It's not insane. 789 OPS, 287 batting average, 21 swipes, 17 homers from a shortstop.
Yeah.
In his rookie season, I do think the fall off after that.
Just
Steep.
nothing anywhere close to that.
It's very impressive to have a 2.5 WAR season under your belt and then also finish with 1 career WAR.
Yeah, that means you headed the wrong direction. The rest of his career, 256, a 656 OPS. Yeah, unfortunately, the fall off, I think, is the highlight.
Yeah.
But,
Rookie of the Year.
man, he won Rookie of the Year in Major
know.
League Baseball.
That happened.
What's his? Reach out on Hell. Bailey?
Very good pick. Fun pick.
Fun pick. That's what it's about.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go catcher. There are names at catcher. I don't know if you had that sort of.
I haven't gotten to deep dive on the position
Yeah,
yet.
if you-
If we're just
My R&D.
showing our hand.
I've got a couple names. A
Yeah.
couple names.
Catcher's your call.
You know what? I'm gonna, as the tiebreaker, I'm gonna pick the guy who did it for my team. And so I'm going to pick, once if I can actually bring up his page here,
Sure.
Johnny Estrada.
Okay. Yeah.
Johnny Estrada
Yes, dude.
had himself an all-star.
He's a baller.
He had himself an all-star in 04. This was after he was the replacement for Javi Lopez, who went to Baltimore and also had a pretty good year that year, I believe. Or I think in 03, Javi had a crazy year where he hit a bunch of home runs. But 2004, Johnny Estrada, he hit 314. He had a 378 on base, 450 slug, 113 OPS plus. All-star, again, is sort of the main highlight. It's a 2-WAR season. He was not a good defensive catcher in the grand scheme of things, at least according to some of these metrics. But when his next best is a .7, I will take Johnny Estrada just to give me a Brave on there.
Dude, Johnny Estrada. Yeah. Again, my fantasy baseball days. Johnny Estrada was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Lock this guy up. And was his fall hard?
Well, his next year was not very good. His next year he went from an 828 OPS to 670. And then again never really had a good full productive season.
It's also
outside of that.
It's also tough because I feel like when you're young, you kind of don't care about ages as much. It's like it's younger old guy and then like old guy. That's what you see as a kid. That Johnny Estrada, I had no idea he was 28 when he did that.
He was 28.
In my head, Johnny Estrada was like, oh, Braves call up
Next
prospect
big thing.
catcher.
Yeah.
Not so much.
No, yeah, he'd been around the block. He'd played a couple years with Philly, and then he made his way over to the Braves.
I mean, good for him.
Yeah, I mean, he had himself a year.
He sure did. Wow, I didn't realize it fell off that quickly. But again, I'm realizing I was a child analyzing Johnny Estrada's season at that point. Okay, catcher pool. We will have to circle back on that. Let's see. We've got a lot of our infield BBD.
Yeah, I have 2 outfielders I'd like. We could end up with both of them. I double-starred one.
Okay, that's your indication of what you like.
Yes.
It's
Single-starred the other guy.
It's a fun name.
It's a fun name. He has other years where he was kind of productive, but it was not a full year. But it is 1 year that he really put together.
Yeah, I'm in on it. It's his only year getting MVP votes. I feel like if we actually put qualifications on it, that could be one of them.
That probably would have been our rule.
We will go White Sox Carlos Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on my board.
36 home runs. A couple nice years after that, but it's not all there. Where that season, 5th in MVP, a 149 OPS plus. Yeah, some real pop. Stanford man, didn't know that. We'll take Carlos Quinn. It's a
Very
good
nice.
baseball name, right?
Oh.
Kind of just rolls off.
Yeah.
Quentin McCracken. Oh,
Quentin.
Bring up
McCracken.
his
Bring him
pages,
up.
right.
Yeah.
bring up his page. Okay, so what's your current team look like, babe? Is there any vibes on your team?
I don't know if there's vibes. We have, we do have a World Series winner. I'll take that.
That's true.
Yeah, I've got second, third, and right field remaining. Are we doing a DH?
We could do
We'll see
a
what-
bone.
we'll see
see
what
where
it's
we're
like
at.
when
Let's
we
just
get
use
there.
DH as like, this
An
guy was
extra
on my
guy,
board.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you status check of which is where we're at. You have your catcher and Johnny Estrada, your first baseman Derek Barton, second base is open, shortstop is Jason Bartlett, third base is open, Darren Erstad in left field, Andres Torres in center field. Both teams have our right fielders open. We have Brett Boone at second, Angel Baroa at short, Chase Headley at third, Carlos Quentin in left, and Brady Anderson in center.
I think you have like a power team, and I have like a on base and defense team.
I mean, Moneyball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You quoted it. Who's
Well,
next?
Moneyball's not defense.
Who joined? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I will go next with. This is a tricky one. Yeah. Okay, I'll go for it. Maybe contested. I'm gonna go with the great Morgan Ensberg, who had good years other than this year that I'm about to bring up.
Right.
But in 2005, Morgan Ensberg finished fourth in MVP voting and won a Silver Slugger. He hit 36 home runs. His next best in the season is 25. He drove in 101 guys. His next best in the season is 66. He does have a season in 2003 that was pretty good, but even that was like 127 games, like not quite qualified for a batting title versus 624. This was a 6.31 season. It's kind of on the borderline of a one-year wonder. It could just be considered one of those regular old career years for a guy who was a good baseball player. So if you want to contest, I have other options.
He was on
very much on
the list we are working off of. And how about this? Our fake MVP ruling that we're not using would be applicable to Morgan Ensberg here.
Absolutely.
And this is a funny one. Baseball Reference, it shows the top players on the team that year. It starts out with an 8-WAR season from Roger Clemens, arguably one of the best pitchers to ever do it. Not arguably at all, Jake. Morgan Ensberg, 2.
Yeah.
Andy Pettit, 3. Roy Oswalt. Sorry, Roy. I know you listen. Lance Berkman, the big Puma at 5. That's a good crew for Morgan Ensberg to be like, kind of driving the boat.
Yeah.
Craig Biggio turned in 2.1 that year.
He's an accumulator.
Brad Lidge with a 2-WAR closing season.
2-WAR closer. That's
a big year.
Yeah.
Beast. Morgan Ensberg was a monster. On our board, too, a great pick. Let's see. I want to put some vibes on this team. And that is not you. It is you. I'm gonna double check some. We might be out of a position for him.
I don't know if I'd want to DH him. There's 2 guys I've highlighted on our sheet that we can do what we want with a little bit, and I think the second of those 2 would fit our first base needs pretty nicely.
Yes.
Did he kind of put together another year?
A little bit. How about this? Bailey, you thought we were alluding to this before. This player has a ton of versatility.
Yes.
Oswaldo Cabrera's idol.
That's
we
true.
will put this MFer wherever we want. Marwin Gonzalez in 2017.
What happened?
There's just some years you're seeing the ball really well.
Yeah. Have you guys
it feels like you know what's coming?
Yeah. Have you guys talked about what happened?
No content around it.
Okay.
Not us.
Okay.
Couple guys had big years that year, huh? And I'm not talking about Nori Aoki. Marwin Gonzalez, my God, 134 games. Did he play not every position?
He played double-digit times at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions.
303, a 907 OPS, a 146 OPS plus, a career 709, 94. It is quite the outlier.
Yeah.
In hindsight. End of commentary.
End of commentary. Sorry, Twins, I guess would be my commentary.
Yeah.
We'll figure out where he goes later, I think.
Yeah. He's just on the team.
He can play pretty much anywhere.
Nice guy. Good apology. Feel good about it. Was okay with him on the Yankees.
He was a fine vibes.
It was nice. It was nice seeing a major leaguer that could play every position and kind of make it look easy.
Yeah.
It's like defense.
There's not a lot of those.
You have to field, throw, get to the ball. This is easy.
I felt like when he was an Astro Twin, I never saw him do shortstop. And when I found out he had done it a lot, and I saw it for the first time as a Yankee, I was very pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because in my head, he was the other infield spots in the corners.
So I'm sorry, but Marwin Gonzalez is off the board.
Dag nabbit. Keeping that fan-friendly for the Dan Patrick heads out there.
Thank you to our Dan Patrick fans.
All right, so remaining positions for me, second base, right field. I don't love any of the guys I have available here, to be honest with you. I'm going to go for, I think for fun, probably the most recent guy who could get drafted at these positions. There is one more on my board.
There are some recent guys.
There are some recent guys. Actually, you know what? I'm looking at his numbers. I'm not loving it. Okay. I'm not loving the pick. It was a fun year. All right. I'm going to go. Let me look at this guy.
Look at this guy. Girl, look at that body. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
Higgins.
I like this guy.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go right field. 2008 St. Louis Cardinals Ryan Ludwig.
Okay. He was on our board.
Yeah.
He was listed.
I was overlooking him a moment ago, but he was on the board, and I was excited when I wrote him down.
37 bombs. And I don't have enough power. I think I need this guy cleaning it up. Little pop in there. 299 average. Just missed out on 300. 966 OPS in 2008 in Busch.
Wow.
That's very impressive. Park adjusts that adds up to a 151 OPS plus. Only year he was an all-star. Only year he received MVP down ballot votes. Only year he won a Silver Slugger. 5.5 WAR. Next best is 2.4. Yeah, it's just a classic, quintessential one-year wonder. Shout out to 2008 Ryan Ludwig, who will play right field.
Yeah, Luddy was on the board. Another guy that I thought had a little better career, but I guess that's kind of the point of one-year wonders.
Yeah, you remember them because you were like, that guy had a great year. You don't necessarily remember the not-so-great years.
It'll click in again, right? Right. Wow. 151 OPS plus. That's like
crazy.
rare air.
Yeah,
dude.
that's crazy.
Good for you, Ryan Ludwig. Let's see. We are currently missing a catcher.
I'm trying to get some research going there.
I think I'm going to. We have an outfield. We could use a first baseman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Marwin's first base eligible.
yeah. I
If you
think
have a first
I think
base.
we're gonna put him in right. I think I will go with former Yankees bench coach Brad Wilkerson.
Very good.
Brad Wilkerson
Was on my board.
He's again. There's a few of these guys that have that second year that you're like, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's a really nice season, but 32 home runs in 2004, 13 stolen bases. It's his highest OPS plus. His second highest homers in a season was 20. So he only broke 20 once, and he got to 32. And kind of I wonder if there was injuries or anything, or if Father Time or the league found out something, because, man, his first couple years in the batch are like...
He's got a Rookie of the Year runner-up, I think.
Yeah. He was building towards something in an age 27 season where he seemed to peak, and then it went down from there. Who did he lose to? Jason Jennings. Did I just find our pitcher? God, now I have to click his page, and I'm going to be lost for a couple minutes, so I will kick it back to you.
I would say, like, just in general, the late Expos right before it got sad,
Right.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Like,
Yes.
we know you love Jose Vidro, but that's another example.
All day.
Jamie Carroll,
Oh, God.
yeah, they were fun. Right before it got sad.
Right. Again,
Like
right before it got...
right, like when it was home games in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
that was you're circling the drain.
James in Puerto Rico.
And now it'd be kind of interesting if someone
Yeah.
did that, but then that was a bad sign.
There were
No
some
disrespect.
Rays rumors
There
of
were.
that for a little
There
bit.
were.
Those fell through.
All right, I'm really stuck at second base here. I don't entirely know what direction I want to go with this one.
Okay.
Okay, let me look at this guy one more time. The guy who I just didn't take.
I mean, we are getting at a friendly part of the draft.
Okay,
Couple second basemen that I'll give Biebs the credit for.
Sure.
Mark Loretta
on my
is
list.
on a list.
Yeah.
And he put Edgardo Alfonso with a question mark.
He was
He had
good.
like more years, but that year is the best one.
The outlier. So I'm glad we could not help you.
I'm gonna go with my guy here, even though I don't love the pick. The most recent one we've named so far. Give me 2019 Hanser Alberto at second base.
Okay.
Hanser Alberto had 1 year in Major League Baseball where he had more than 300 plate appearances. And in that year, he had 12 home runs and had a 305 average, probably more noteworthy. Still a 98 OPS plus, so this is, I mean, 19, the offense in general was crazy in 19, but this is still technically below league average or average. I would call this average hitting production,
Right.
but it was sexy when he hit 305. He just, he had 16 walks in 139 games.
Right.
So he wasn't getting on base much.
Didn't he hit? I'm sorry if you just said this because I'm cruising some catchers right
Sure.
now. his numbers versus lefties that year.
That's what it was.
I remember being.
Let me bring up those splits for you.
I think his batting average started with a 4 against lefties.
It may have
could
been.
be wrong.
Oh, we got a 398.
Damn it.
Yeah. So I'll give you a slash versus the both sides of the platoon split versus lefties 398 average, and then versus righties 238. And then you don't really need to know the on base and slugging because they're not that much higher than the other ones. You know what's funny though? 7 homers versus righties, 5 versus lefties.
Power swing.
That's funny.
Power swing versus the righties. Yeah, I mean, I remember looking at those numbers versus lefties, and it's always something that's blown my mind. Like, it makes sense. I get it. The fact that guys can have a split like that, that doesn't process in my head.
It doesn't for me either.
I get it. Yes, the ball moves away. I get it. I watch a lot of baseball. But that's nuts. You're the best contact hitter in the game versus one side. You are very much below league average.
You are unplayable, basically, against the other side.
Handsome Hanser Alberto. I'll take our catcher.
Go for it.
And it will be Jason Castro.
Oh, not on my board.
Jason Castro.
Let me see what's going on here.
In 2013, played 120 games and had a 130 OPS plus.
Ooh.
You know, who doesn't love a lefty catcher? When a lefty catcher's hitting, that feels special.
It's nice.
That feels like a cheat code.
Then they had a 26-year-old lefty catcher.
Right? Like that's a guy, like, could you imagine in 2013 if you were an Astros fan watching every day, you're like, we just got our next guy. And then he was usable for catcher standards, but I mean very much
certain minimum of viable backup.
Career 227 batting average, 699 OPS.
And, like, not just him hitting like that, but, like, he could play the position. He was not fringy there. Like, he was a catcher and a pretty good one at that.
Yes.
It's a 4.2 WAR season. He was doing it all.
Wow.
He was playing for the Astros as late as 22.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts?
That's nuts, too. That just shows if you can catch, you could play in the league for a while.
Dude, some of them are nuts. Kratzy.
Oh, yeah,
like,
good pull.
That's crazy. He was basically told you are not a major leaguer for 30 years / 10 years or however you want to measure it. And then he was.
He was
for another
Parts
10.
of like 9 seasons in the show.
Debut at 30, retire at 40.
Davey Garcia's dad.
And played at least in part of all those years in between at some point in major leagues.
Especially those final years. Didn't he catch a Brewers playoff game because, like, their catchers just fell like flies? I don't know. Okay. Enough Kratzy tangents from me. We always do
I think
this.
he had a playoff run in there then.
Okay, so what do we have left?
Yeah, are we done?
If
do we
we're
have a
doing a
DH?
bonus DH.
Give us, you know what?
Yeah.
Give us some of your babies that were not selected, and then whichever one you deem the prettiest, you can keep and bring home with you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I had a few guys on the board. I was looking at Loretta. Bernard Gilkey, who was a good player, stood out to me as having one year that was kind of heads and shoulders above the others. So he was a lot of catcher. Had some interesting ones. Alex Avila had one year that was better than the others. Paula Duca, also in the catching ranks. Had
another guy that when I was younger, I just had in my head as, he was a good catcher when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Right.
But I guess I'll make my DH pick, and it's this is another one I think about. And the reason I avoided Loretta a little bit is because I kind of knew I was going to end up picking a Padre. And this is a weird one. I'm going to pick for my DH Christian Villanueva.
Wow.
Christian Villanueva out of Guadalajara, Mexico.
Yeah. Oh. You don't have to tell me, but thank you for telling the people.
For the people. In 2018, he played 110 games. He had 384 plate appearances. So this is not even a full season from him, but he had 20 bombs in San Diego.
Yeah.
And he was actually, I think in April, this season ended early. This was not a good Padres team, etc. He was like the April NL Rookie of the Month. Like he was like he had a little bit of a your mean thing going on. And I guess you could almost say when you look at his career, but at the end of the season, 236 batting average, not great. 299 on base, not great. But because of the pop and because of the offensive environment, he had a 106 OPS plus, which is above average. For 110 games in Major League Baseball, Christian Villanueva was an above average hitter.
Yeah.
And then basically the Padres wanted to get rid of him and he went and played in Japan. So he never, here's the thing. If you'd have given Christian Villanueva a couple more years in the big leagues, I think he would have shown his true colors, and we would have realized Christian Villanueva, probably isn't as promising as that April that he had was, or even the only other year he played Major League Baseball, 12 great games in 2017. But it's just so weird to me that we didn't get to make that discovery ourselves.
Right.
Because that's what kind of freaks me out about it, because clearly the Padres knew. And maybe he knew because he was like, well, I can go get paid millions in Japan and have, at least for the year, a pretty good playing time situation. But it's just weird to me for a guy in what is basically, his rookie year to win Rookie of the Month in April, hit 20 home runs, be an above average hitter, and then just not be wanted in Major League Baseball in general. So that's my weird DH pick for a one-year wonder, Christian Villanueva.
Usually we get to see that, when they play more, they get exposed a bit.
We didn't get to see it.
And they're just good numbers as a major leaguer.
Man.
Decent sample,
It's
good numbers.
6 sports
He's out.
sometimes.
I know.
6 sports. I hope he's at peace. I don't know if he is.
Well, he's playing in Mexico, so, he's back home.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe good eats, family. BBD, I'll let you read off a couple of the names on the board because this is your research more than mine.
2001 Phil Nevin. That's the 40-plus homer year. Again, I think I was just looking at Aaron Boone Friends.
Yeah.
That about? That's a little nuts. You had added Didi to our list, and that was interesting. I just had never thought of him that way. So, a little fake news, but the other year that's close to that is the COVID year.
I was a little surprised because of the 2020 season. His 2019 is a bit of an outlier because Didi had a very steady progression to getting better.
Yeah.
Then hurt.
For 134 games, the season before it is similar.
That's a good year.
But it's a step up. And then there's not too much around it for a full year.
Yeah.
We were suckers for him, man. We wrote him off. He's lefty. He was cool.
He was.
How much does it suck that we just like lefties?
Well, you've got a lefty catcher right now.
Right.
Yeah. That's just Yankee stuff. Other people like lefties, right?
People love lefties, dude. If there's a lefty that's good at basketball, you're like, that's cool.
That's cool.
That is cool.
How do they do
like
that?
left-handed.
I like it. I like left-handed arm in the outfield.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Like having a lefty gun out there. Bill Hall was a right down. I don't even know if he might have had other years. I don't recall.
His home run standout. There's a 35 homer season where his next high is 18.
Yeah.
I think that's why I
Mother's Day
on
Bill
there.
Hall.
I liked him, and he had second or third base. I could have talked myself into putting him there. Alan Craig, I kept wanting to do. He sort of had enough of a second year that I felt weird about it. The one who I think if I were making the DH pick, he feels like a DH too. That Trumbo will lead the league in homers here I'm comfortable arguing for 1 year wonder there. Not a lot of full years out of him.
Yeah,
that was the big obstacle.
It's funny because
compare his full years.
Yeah, he's got
his other 30
couple in
years.
Anaheim earlier on are strong, but 47.
47 is just such a different number. To an extent, Brady Anderson makes the cut.
Mark Trumbo tells his neighbors, I led Major League Baseball in home runs.
Yeah, not just black ink italics. Both leagues.
Wow. 218 in the show and
he's the one that if this is about the best draft I can possibly put together.
Right, if we were trying to put together teams.
Answer.
But yeah, clicked around a little bit live and
the other catcher I liked was Devin Mesoraco.
Ooh, good
2014.
This guy.
I wrote down 2 and the other we picked.
Well, I'll play a side game real quick.
Okay.
Kareem Garcia.
Kareem Garcia.
Who is Kareem Garcia? Career WAR.
9.
I'll take the other and say 2.
Negative 3.2.
Wow.
But he played a lot.
He played a ton,
Gotta play.
dude. He played parts of 10 seasons.
Wow.
So, again, he probably gets killed on defense, but his career OPS plus is 82.
Yeah,
but
that's
Kareem
bad.
Garcia was famous because Pedro talked shit to him.
I remember. Well, I do remember that about him.
So, there's the life lesson. Get into a fight with a famous person.
Who's better than you.
Yes.
Rugi.
I mean, how did Kareem Garcia...
Whoa.
Scary. Who are some modern guys, if you have any in your head?
Kyle Lewis. I mean, it's just kind of sad, you know.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised. I think for the most part, as a group, we put together drafts that weren't just like sad injury stories.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could dig on a lot of these and find them, but
Man, is Kyle Lewis still in the league?
I think he's currently just in AAA.
Hasn't played in AAA this year.
Oh, God.
Oh,
God, why'd I ask?
Yeah. See, now I'm just sad.
Why'd I ask? Did you have a pitcher lined up?
Oh, I had pictures.
Rattle them off.
Ooh, okay. Well, this is maybe the most famous one. 2010 Ubaldo, Jimenez. I did have 15 Keuchel. Eric Bedard, 2007. Mike Foltynewicz, 2018. My favorite though, like if we were drafting it, just in terms of I saw what this guy was doing and I believed in it, and B, it was just like enjoyable and fun to watch and somewhat recent. 2017 Jimmy Nelson on those Brewers.
Oh yeah,
was a monster pitcher, and it's been pretty spotty ever since. But I enjoyed what he did that year.
How about Jimmy Nelson?
Cy Young, 9th in Cy Young voting.
Out of the bullpen in 2021 for the Dodgers.
Yeah, they were good. Not bad numbers for them either.
28 games, a 1.86.
Yeah, I know.
Did he have 2 Tommy Johns, or was he? Again,
he may be a
that's
shoulder
not info you should
versus
have on
elbow
the top
guy.
Of your head. But yeah, did not throw in 2018. Got rocked in 19. Did not throw in 2020.
Yeah.
Man, good for him.
He had a great year.
University of Alabama guy, Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah.
Life is good. Life is good.
One more pitcher. Or I'll give you 2 more. 2009, Wandy Rodriguez, a guy who had a pretty good career with Houston, but that was the kind of the standout.
I love
year.
Wandy.
I always thought he was really good, even when he was maybe not so good. But like he was pretty consistent, but he had one year that stood above the other years in that regard. And then I also had 2008 Ricky Nolasco as a pretty good year.
Ricky Nolasco.
But he didn't really get the recognition, like he wasn't like a down ballot Cy Young or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, a deep cut for some Yankee fans. You can always play the Aaron Small card. It's not even like a full season, but he went 10-0 with a 3.2 ERA.
Who was the left fielder who hit like 1 million homers in September, and it was like early 2000s? Shane Spencer, yeah.
Shane Spencer. He kind of won the job. He was there for a bit.
Can our DH be Andujar?
Oh, sure.
It always can be BBD because we make the rules here. Yeah, Andujar was, when you asked to do this, he was the first name that popped up in my head. And it's still, that's a genuine, that tone was genuine.
Yeah.
God, he was so fun, and like, doubles are really fun, and he was a walking double. Like, I want more doubles in baseball, and Andujar was there.
47.
That's
a lot of doubles.
God, there's a whole, if we want to do a team of like the 2019 Yankees.
Yeah, like the Maben and
Cameron
the
Maben,
Urshela and
Tauchman.
I mean, Tauchman's back though.
Yeah, he is.
He's back. He's just back to being
I think
productive.
he hits the leadoff sometimes.
I think quite a bit.
Yeah.
That whole Yankees team, crazy. God, I love you, Tyro Estrada. Bailey. That was baseball. Make sure you go check out Foolish's channel on the YouTube machine. Foolish Baseball, Foolish Bailey. Are those the 2 pages?
That's it.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay. I don't know why I second guessed that. Just Foolish and Bay that maybe that's where my mind was. Bailey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. What else are you doing in the city, dude?
I've got another content stop to make with the fellow YouTuber, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
Whoa, look out for that. Well, thank you so much. It's been a long day, so let's wrap this up. Although me and Beebs have a little more work because we're just not the same.
Are you recording another one of these?
We are.
Have fun.
The grind, baby. Thank you. Talkin Jake is a production of Dan Patrick Productions, John Boy Media, and Workhouse Media. We'll see ya.